Hey, this is Eb. I'm here to show off a guitar. This one technically is for sale, but it's not mine. It's an old Harmony Archtone. They made a million of these. I mean, they might have made millions of these. There's just so many. They're not hard to come by. They're super cool. The later ones have 2 rings or extra rings of purfling. The 40s ones and 50 ones, whatever, have just 1, and the headstocks change over time. But so this one's probably from the 60s. I forget. Let's see. Yeah, actually 1969. It's funny to think Woodstock was going on and they were still making arch tops. There was still a demand back then. So this is one that I forget the original origins of it, but it belongs to a friend of mine, a guitar builder and repairman, luthier, Bruce Lyons, also here in Wichita Falls, a good friend of mine, and it is his, and he got it, but it was falling apart as these do over time. And so together we took it all apart, turned it into like a guitar kit, took it all apart, top off, back off, braces, all that stuff, neck off, everything's apart, and then re-glued it all back together. So kind of reconstructed it, left some things original that didn't need to be changed, but reset the neck angle. And that's the biggest and coolest thing, the best thing you can do for these if it's got to be done. If you're going to reset it, the original ones, I don't have one here, but they had short little bridges on them. And those bridges, they're so short, they just can't make a lot of noise. The angle's really low and flat on the strings here, so the strings aren't pushing down very hard onto the bridge and then down on the top. So if you increase the neck angle here, bring this down, brings the strings up here so that you can fit a higher bridge under there. This isn't a crazy thing. This is just what Gibson and the nicer guitar builders did, and those are the companies that Harmony was copying. So getting a full 1-inch tall bridge on there like Gibson would have had brings those strings up, brings the tension down on the top. So when you get these strings moving down here and they're rolling around and vibrating, those vibrations have some tension to push that down in the top here. And when the top has some pressure and more volume or more strings vibration coming down, then there's more volume. It becomes a much louder guitar, becomes a much fuller sounding guitar because you can just hear everything. And this just has a standard little 2-foot bridge on there. If you don't know about arch tops, they have 2 tone bars. They only have 2 big braces. Sometimes they're parallel, sometimes they're perfectly parallel, sometimes they fan out a little bit, getting wider down here. But the treble side sits on the treble side tone bar, and the bass side sits on the bass tone bar here. And so the low ends go down on that bass side and get this top over here, the bass side moving, and this treble one, boy, gets that top going. So the more you do that, the more this comes up with more energy. It gets the whole top moving. And as what I found after doing these is that these old Harmonies that everybody thought were pretty crummy, dull sounding guitars, a big part of the limitations of these guitars was that neck angle. They just never had enough string tension on the bridge to sound good or even sound off. They just weren't making a lot of noise. So you just hear a lot of string noise. And when you do that to one like this, they just sound fantastic. And so I'm going to give a little demonstration that they get louder, fuller, and bassier. I wish I had a crummy one here that was strung up to hear the comparison, but most people know what they sound like. And also, those other ones, as the neck angle gets worse on them, you'll find some of them that only have half of just the top saddle part of the bridge on them. And the bass is gone because it's so low. That's how low they'll be. They'll be just like this high off of there. And so they just never sound good or play good. But this one, now it can sound good and play good. So, it's just a video on your phone, but it's real nice and loud, but not just twangy sounding. And now I'll just do a little finger. And this one plays good all up and down the neck. So yeah, I just wanted to show you this. Don't count these out. They got a lot of potential. They're not just for putting pickups in and playing like electric. They have wonderful acoustic sound and great playability once you get them into shape. So if you enjoyed that, please like the video. If you want to see more of it, subscribe. If you got a friend you might think this is pretty cool, well, click that share link and send it to them an email or text something and send it their way. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back with more.